crazy record has just been broken because this roller coaster right here opened very recently. I know, I'm just as confused as you are. We've already started to see what the layout of the brand new record-breaking replacement of the beloved Kingda Ka could be like. And amongst ride teasers, event teasers and more, we have some very sad closures coming up in due course. Oh, I'm already getting upset. It's been one heck of a week because all that and even more has happened this past week in theme parks. Yes, welcome back to the most consistent series to ever step foot on the internet. This past week in theme parks, where we take a look at all the different news at all the different theme parks in all the past 7 days. And as said, it has been a busy week. So if you do want to skip to specific stories, please be sure to use the video progress bar chapters below. And be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. These videos do take a while to research and create each week, so any support towards this series or the channel in general would be very much appreciated. But with that being said, it is now time to dive deep into what news we have today. And when there's so much news and we don't want to be here for a millennium, what better way to do that when there's so much news than with the quickfire news segment? Let's go. And first of all, we are starting in the UK. No travelling required for this one, because Chessington's brand new Landfall 2026 Paw Patrol has now officially gone vertical. We've seen footers in the ground, but now we have some buildings and a lot of rubble. A lot. Excited to see the progress of that. Same with the progress of the dragon at Chessington as well. Outside of Dragon's Fury, the sort of animatronic dragon that comes out and goes, "Rah!" They announced that it was working again, and then it turns out on the day it wasn't. So we'll see if that works anytime soon. Flamingo Land's brand new Lost River Adventure ride refurbishment, if you can call it that, has reached a major milestone now because water is actually running down that much shorter drop, and hopefully at some point we can see that SimWorks motion platform simulator thing start to test as well. We are under 2 weeks away from the start of construction of the brand new theme park following Isle of Discovery, and Alton Towers have finally teased towards their event for Halloween, Scarefest, with a brand new teaser that's very ominous and green, and in the compound teaser says 13. This brand new announced maze and scare zone will probably be down towards the dark forest side in those containers we've seen over the past year or so, and I'm very intrigued to see how they pull this off. And the same could be said for a brand new ride coming to Germany. Hang on, we got to travel there. My teleportation isn't working. Because Movie Park Germany have announced a brand new ride for 2026 that will be taking a Paramount Pictures IP. Now, we don't know anything other than that yet, but we do sort of know where it's going to be. In the old simulator ride building of Lost Temple. Seems like another movie park studio type thing where we're just going to see film creation happen. And I like that a lot. As I do an amazing roller coaster at Efteling in the Netherlands, Baron 1898. I'm not going to try the Dutch pronunciation of that. I'll leave it on screen. You can pronounce it yourselves. But Baron 1898 is actually 10 years old this year, which I did not realise. And for that, as amazing as the ride looks, as pristine as the theming looks, they're going to be doing an entire refurbishment project throughout September and October to repaint the ride, retile all the buildings, and basically just make everything look even nicer than it already does. God, can you imagine if our parks here in the UK cared that much? But we love Efteling for that sort of care. A park in Paris that takes about 10 years to actually build an attraction, Disneyland Paris, they have made some big steps towards the opening of World of Frozen. Plopsa Deutschland have made a lot of steps as well towards their new roller coaster for 2026. 100% Wolf. Still can't get over that name. And Walibi Belgium are stupid because they opened a brand new roller coaster recently called Megalodon, and that's not why they're stupid, by the way, but let me continue. And that is a very good ride, but it has a very strange policy where you have to take your bag on with you, and the trains are so open and free, you could easily drop your bag. So it's already silly that they don't have a bag hold there, but now, if you do lose your items on it, you're going to have to pay €145 to get them back. And there's no guarantee that the item will actually be found. That is so stupid. Walibi Belgium, what are you doing? Now, hopefully my teleportation method isn't being stupid now, because we are going to the USA. God save... No, that's us. Because there's a lot of things happening over there, including that record-breaking roller coaster that does not look like it could be record-breaking in the slightest. Walt Disney World has announced that a brand new Pirates of the Caribbean dining experience is going to open very soon, and bookings for that become available in the next week or so. Talking of next week, Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket is closing. At Universal Studios Orlando, the massive weird mid-course brake run the ride with a vertical lift and a not vertical drop and everything like that. Yeah, that is closing next week. A very, very sad time indeed. Why couldn't you close it in actual early September? That's when I'm going to Florida. I wanted to ride it again. Another closure next week to add to that list is also that ZDT amusement park we've been speaking about for the past few weeks. It closes on the 18th of August, and from that point, boom, it is no more. But there is actually some new information there, because their wooden roller coaster, Switchback, very unique, has a boomerang element on it. Yes, on a wooden roller coaster. The park owners have actually said that that has now got 4 different buyers interested in purchasing the ride, which means Switchback, the Gravity Group Woody, will live on, which is amazing to hear. Obviously, it's still sad to see the whole park closing, but to save at least one ride there, the main one there, is very good. And it could be anywhere that wants to buy it, including Alton Towers. Maybe this is a replacement of Rita. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Staying in Florida-ish, because I guess we spoke about Walt Disney World and... yeah. Busch Gardens Tampa Bay has Kumba reopening this summer, maybe. And it is looking likely that it might reopen because the walls are down around it. There was big construction walls. They gone. Open? Kings Island has a roller coaster that is currently closed, called Invertigo, a big inverted boomerang coaster, and it's very unknown at the moment what is going to happen to that ride. Rumours have circulated the past week that that is getting the Zimmerman treatment next. Or will it get that treatment? Because the whole point of that, if you don't know, is, well, Six Flags CEO, Richard Zimmerman, you can sort of see where I'm going. All the rides that have been removed recently, a lot of people have been saying they've been Zimmered or Zimmermanned, but they might not be able to say that for much longer, because he has actually announced that he is stepping down as the CEO of Six Flags, which is huge news considering everything he's just done with those parks now, and now he decides to step away. I don't know if this will continue being a thing of places shutting down, rides being removed, or whoever replaces him might do the same. We don't know. And you just know for a fact, in their fashion, Six Flags won't tell us anything, as they didn't tell us when Pantherian at King's Dominion was reopening. The retheme of Intimidator 305, of course, we saw it testing last week, and in the previous episode, I literally said, oh, give it like 1 or 2 days and it'll open, because that's what America seems to do nowadays. And without warning, Pantherian reopened. And according to the park's maintenance team, it has already been through 3 sets of wheels in less than a week. How is that ride going to run efficiently and cost efficiently? King's Dominion goes bust because of Pantherian. I keep slipping into it. S&S are busy making a brand new family style coaster called a Rail Rider, and that has now been topped off at their factory. I don't really know why an announcement was needed from S&S about that, as it is just a prototype, but I guess we might see some of these pop up very soon at different parks. Millenium Force at Cedar Point has turned 25 years old. That is just over 4 years older than me. Great. Disneyland California Adventure, their Avengers Campus massive expansion has now gone vertical, and they've done that just before D23 starts as well, which is the huge night, or the multiple nights, where Disney announces all of their future plans and some of their current plans. And I would expect to see some big news about Disney Abu Dhabi in there as well, maybe. Dollywood have released another teaser towards their brand new 2026 ride, which appears to be that Mack rocking boat we spoke about. And if you don't know what one of them is, it's this thing. Yep, that is a roller coaster in the water that does rollbacks and stuff. It's a pretty mental concept, but it works really well. And there has been quite a lot of news coming out of SeaWorld, because upon briefly discussing how SeaWorld Orlando was performing against Epic Universe, also meant that they commented on a new expansion coming to Orlando, and that they are looking to purchase or make 2 new international parks entirely. And international parks is very intriguing because that could be anywhere. God, we got Universal, now we're going to start getting all of the Florida parks, and then next up it's Disney. I mean, I wouldn't complain if Disney eventually decided to come over here, but leave SeaWorld to other places, please. Dotting around to another few countries, you've got Six Flags Mexico that are building a brand new Vekoma boomerang, and they've actually shown us an in-depth video into what that's going to be like. It seems very race themed, and I quite like that, although that park was the one supposed to be getting the Vekoma tilt that went to Cedar Point. So it's a bit of a downgrade, but it'll still be good nonetheless. You also have over in Australia now, at Warner Brothers Movie World, the very famous Scooby-Doo roller coaster announced to be reopening very, very soon. It had a lot of troubled history where it just would shut for ages. It became renowned for always being standing but not operating, but now they have announced it's coming back and it's got brand new theming and updated sets, and it'll be worth the wait. As we'll be going back over to that sort of part of the world, Cacau Park in Brazil, where their Vekoma Ghost Rider is now almost complete. We saw the weird double zero G roll and the massive top hat that has now been topped off. The whole layout is looking lovely and it is literally very, very close to completion, although the rest of the park definitely isn't. And back into America for our final couple of stories, both of which are quite strange ones. The first coming out of Six Flags Great Adventure, where the replacement of Kingda Ka has been delayed. We've known that for a couple of weeks, but that doesn't mean that the construction has stopped on site, because it has not, and I still think that they actually plan to open this way later than they actually said originally, and just use the 2026 opening as a way to be like, don't worry, Kingda Ka's gone, but be happy because of this, as this will definitely not be finished. But as you can see, the footers in the ground, very strange. You've got this one line that goes straight up and then this weird triangular shape at the bottom. Now obviously there is pretty much one thing that can be and nothing else, and that is of course a huge spike at some point on this ride, although a lot of people seem to still think it's actually going to be that Mack spinner that has the massive tower halfway through. I really hope it's not that. Obviously, it's still going to hurt that Kingda Ka was there and they never said anything about it, because I'm still fuming I wanted to ride it. Whatever this is better than them turning it into a car park. Or it might not be. Either way, we have now reached our final story of today's episode. And we're staying in America for this one, but we're heading quite high up, and I mean very high up, in the mountains at Fun City. And this isn't a proper theme park like you'd expect, which is why I've never heard of this before. And they have now opened their first ever roller coaster that has broken a record that is just crazy. More so because it's that coaster that's done it than anything else. But this record then, where does it stem from? Who held it originally? Who as in what ride, not a person? And how much have they broken it by? Well, obviously the world is a very mountainous place. And amongst all of those different elevation changes will be a theme park probably really low in the ground and also very high up from the ground, where obviously they would install roller coasters, and because of their elevation they would technically be the world's highest roller coasters, because they're measuring the elevation from sea level, not from ground. So for instance, Hyperia here in the UK, measure that from the ground, it's 236 feet tall. Measure it from sea level, it's probably about 280, 290. Damn it, we almost have a giga coaster here in the UK. But in the US, the highest roller coaster that exists is Glenwood Caverns Defiance, a Gerstlauer Eurofighter off the side of the hill, and this actually looks mental, although it has like 3 elements and then goes into its brake run, which I guess is the problem when you're doing it off a hillside. But that sits 7,132 feet above sea level, making that originally the highest roller coaster in the US. But now, Fun City that we spoke about has opened Gold Rush, a brand new SBF spinning coaster that just has a figure 8 layout, and it literally just goes round and spins, comes back in the station. Oh, we're going around again. Oh, here we go. Oh. It's over. Not the most exciting ride, and definitely one you wouldn't think would take the record of the highest roller coaster in America, but it has, because that ride sits 7,550 feet above sea level, making it one of the world's highest, if not the world's highest, I'm not too sure, but most certainly America's highest roller coaster, which for that sort of a ride to break the highest in America or the world record is bonkers. And it did open the other day in the past week, which is why I'm talking about it in this past week in theme parks. SBF Visa have gone and broken a record on a roller coaster for being the highest in America. You can't write this stuff, because I don't think anyone would have predicted that ever. 5,000 likes and I will go to Fun City to ride the world's highest roller coaster. Let's not hit that like goal, because I can't teleport that high. What's been your favourite news in this past week? Leave it in the comments below and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode. Bye!